One of the disciples came to Jesus with a question. "Master, why do some people hear your teachings and see truth immediately, but others hear the same words and see nothing? What's the difference?" And Jesus looked at him with that knowing expression. He said, "It's not about readiness. It's about levels. There are 3 levels of wisdom, 3 stages of seeing. Most people never leave the first level. They see surface, appearances, what they're told to see. Some reach second level. They see patterns, connections beneath surface, but not source. Only chosen ones reach third level, where you see truth directly, not because you figured it out, because the monad trained your perception." He continued, "Each level requires different consciousness, and the monad doesn't bring everyone through all 3. Only pneumatics. Only those with complete spark. Because third level wisdom, seeing truth directly, makes you uncontrollable. You can't be deceived. Can't be manipulated. Can't be led by false authority. That teaching was completely removed from the Bible. The church kept vague statements like, "Those who have ears, let them hear," but removed the explanation of why. The 3 levels. How perception operates differently at each one. And how the monad specifically trains pneumatics to see truth directly. Because if people knew there are levels of wisdom, that most operate from surface seeing only, that chosen ones are trained to perceive truth directly, they'd stop trying to convince everyone and start recognizing who's capable of seeing what. You've noticed you see things others don't. Not better. Deeper. People tell you something and you immediately see what they're not saying. What's really happening beneath their words. And they call you paranoid, overthinking, reading too much into things. But you're not. You're operating from different wisdom level. They're seeing surface. You're seeing beneath. That's the monad training your perception. Moving you through levels most people never access. Today you're learning the 3 levels of wisdom Jesus taught. What each level sees. How the monad trains chosen ones through them. And which level you're operating from now. If you're being trained to see truth directly, comment, "I see truth right now." You've always seen things other people don't. Not hallucinations or delusions or made-up paranoia. Patterns, connections, truths beneath what's being said. Someone tells you something and you immediately see what they're not saying, what they're actually meaning, what's really happening behind their words. You watch situation unfold, relationship, workplace dynamic, political event, and you know how it's going to end before anyone else does. Not because you're psychic or prophetic. Because you're seeing the actual forces at play. The motivations. The agendas. The inevitable trajectory. And people call you paranoid, cynical, negative, overthinking. They tell you you're reading too much into things, making it complicated, seeing problems that aren't there. But you're not. You're just operating from different level of wisdom than they are. They're seeing surface, words, appearances, what they're being told is happening. You're seeing beneath, patterns, contradictions, motivations, actual truth. And that's not accident or personal flaw or mental issue. That's the monad training your perception. Moving you through levels of wisdom that most people never access. From surface seeing where you believe what appears to be, to pattern seeing where you recognize what's hidden, toward truth seeing where you perceive reality directly. And each level shows you world that others operating from lower levels literally cannot see. Which is why you've always felt like you're seeing different reality than everyone around you. Because you are. Your consciousness is processing at different frequency. And what's visible at your level is invisible at theirs. Jesus taught that wisdom operates in 3 distinct levels. Not stages you progress through automatically. Levels of perception. Ways of seeing reality. And most people stay trapped in level 1 because they don't have consciousness capacity for higher levels. Level 1, surface wisdom, seeing appearances, believing what you're told. Level 2, pattern wisdom, seeing connections, recognizing manipulation beneath surface. Level 3, truth wisdom, seeing reality directly, perceiving what is regardless of what appears to be. The monad trains pneumatics through these progressively. Only pneumatics. Because third level makes you impossible to control through deception. Level 1 is surface wisdom. Most of humanity operates here permanently. You see appearances, what things look like, what you're told they are. Someone says, "I'm fine," and you believe them. Authority makes statement and you accept it. News reports event and you think that's what happened. Surface wisdom takes everything at face value. No questioning. No investigation. And this isn't stupidity, it's limited perception. Hylics live here. Their consciousness doesn't process beyond material surface. Society is built to keep people here. Education trains you to accept what authority teaches. Media trains you to believe official sources. Religion trains you to accept doctrine. All designed to maintain surface seeing as only seeing. But pneumatics suffocate at level 1. Even as children. Because something in you knows there's more beneath what you're told. And that discomfort is your pneumatic core pushing you toward level 2. The monad creating cognitive dissonance through betrayal or disillusionment. Someone you trusted lies. Authority you believe deceives. System you thought was good reveals corruption. Surface wisdom breaks. And you move into level 2. Level 2 is pattern wisdom. You see connections beneath surface now. You don't accept what you're told anymore. You check for what's not being said, what's hidden, what agenda is served. Someone's words contradict their behavior and you see it immediately. Authority makes claim and you look for what benefits them, what they're covering. You recognize patterns, same tactics, same propaganda, same manipulation with different packaging. Pattern wisdom sees the game beneath appearance. The strings pulled. Hidden motivations. And this feels like awakening. You think, now I see what's really happening. And you do see significantly more than level 1. You recognize manipulation, see through propaganda. But you're still not seeing truth directly. You're seeing patterns and deducing conclusions. Interpreting connections through your framework, your beliefs, your assumptions. Even accurate interpretations are filtered through understanding. And understanding is always partial, always limited. You see connections but you're still processing through filter. And filters distort. You're seeing more than surface but not yet direct. You see manipulation but you're interpreting what it means, forming theories, constructing explanations. Better than level 1 but not truth wisdom yet. Level 3 is truth wisdom. Direct perception of what is. Not deduction. Not interpretation. Not theory. Seeing. You look at person and you don't analyze to figure out if they're lying. You know they're lying. You see it. Directly. You look at situation and you don't examine evidence to deduce what's happening. You know what's happening. You perceive it. Without process. Without analysis. It's just visible. Like seeing color, you don't figure out the sky is blue, you see it's blue. Same with truth at level 3. You don't figure out what's true by analyzing. You see what's true by perceiving directly. This isn't psychic ability or intuition. This is consciousness operating from frequency where reality is transparent. You're perceiving through pneumatic awareness connected to source. When you operate from that frequency, you see what is regardless of what appears to be. You can't be deceived. Not because you're smart enough to figure out lies. Because you see truth and lies are transparent against it. Someone performs perfect deception. All appearances aligned, all evidence manufactured. And you still know. Because you're seeing from monad consciousness which perceives reality as it is. This level is rare. Very rare. You can't reach it through study or practice. The monad has to bring you there through progressive activation until you're seeing directly more often than interpreting. How the monad trains you through levels. It's progressive destruction of every framework you use to understand reality. Starts by showing you surface isn't truth. You're lied to, deceived, manipulated by people and systems you trusted. At first you believe because you're at level 1. But your pneumatic core feels the disconnect. The monad uses that discomfort to break you into level 2. Now you're seeing connections, recognizing manipulation, understanding deception. You think you've arrived at truth. But then the monad shows you that patterns can deceive too, that interpretations can be wrong even when seeing real connections. That breaks you into level 3, where you stop trying to figure out truth through analysis and start perceiving truth directly through awareness. Progressive disillusionment with each level until you're no longer filtering reality through frameworks, you're just seeing what is. It's brutal. Each level breaking shatters everything you thought you understood. But that destruction is necessary. Truth wisdom requires you to stop interpreting reality and start perceiving it directly. Without filter. Without framework. Just naked perception of what's actually there. The moment you reach level 3 wisdom, the moment your consciousness is operating from direct truth perception instead of surface seeing or pattern analysis, you become impossible to deceive. Not resistant to deception. Immune to it. Because deception only works when you're processing through filters. When you're seeing appearances and believing them or seeing patterns and interpreting them. But when you're seeing truth directly, deception becomes irrelevant. Someone can lie to you perfectly, tone right, body language congruent, story consistent, and you just know it's a lie. Not because you caught inconsistency or analyzed their micro-expressions or detected pattern. Because you're perceiving truth and the lie is transparent against it. Like putting colored glass over white light. You see the color but you also see the white beneath it. You see the lie being told but you also see the truth it's covering. Authority can create elaborate false narrative. All evidence pointing toward it. All experts confirming it. All official sources aligned. And you're not convinced. Not because you're contrarian or skeptical by nature. Because you see what's actually true and the narrative doesn't match. This isn't arrogance. This isn't thinking you're always right and everyone else is wrong. This is operating from consciousness that perceives reality at frequency where truth is visible. And once you're seeing from there, you can't be manipulated through information control, propaganda, false authority, or manufactured consensus. You're seeing past all of it. Not analyzing past it. Seeing past it. And that makes you uncontrollable. Which is exactly what the monad designed you to be. And here's the difficult part about operating from level 3 wisdom. You can't explain how you know what you know. At level 2 you could. Someone asks, how do you know they're lying? And you could walk them through your analysis. Look at this contradiction. Notice this pattern. See how this doesn't match that. Logical pathway from evidence to conclusion. But at level 3 you just see. And when someone asks, how do you know that's true? You don't have satisfying answer. I just know. I see it. It's obvious to me. And that sounds like arrogance or delusion or unearned certainty to people operating from level 1 or 2. They think you're making claims without evidence. Asserting things you can't prove. Being overconfident about conclusions you can't justify. But you're not making claims or asserting conclusions. You're reporting what you perceive. And direct perception doesn't translate into logical explanation. You see truth the way you see color. Someone asks, how do you know the sky is blue? You don't have analysis. You just see it's blue. Same with level 3 wisdom. You don't deduce what's true through evidence pathway. You see what's true through direct perception. And that makes you seem strange, irrational, or dangerously certain to people who aren't perceiving at that level. They need evidence chains and logical pathways and provable arguments. You're just seeing. And the gap between those modes of knowing is unbridgeable through explanation. Only pneumatics reach level 3 wisdom. Hylics never leave level 1. They don't have consciousness capacity for perception beyond material surface. That's not judgment. That's design. Their awareness operates at frequency that sees appearances only. And that's fine for their function. Psychics sometimes reach level 2. They see patterns. Some connections. Hidden dynamics beneath obvious surface. But they can't sustain level 3 because their spark is incomplete. They touch direct perception occasionally but can't maintain it. Can't operate from it consistently. But you? Pneumatic. Complete divine blueprint. Full monad consciousness potential. And the monad is training you toward level 3 right now. Every time reality shows you that surface explanations are lies. Every time your pattern analysis leads to wrong conclusion. Every time you're forced to let go of framework you relied on. That's the training. Progressive breaking of every filter until you're perceiving directly. And if you're at the point where you know things without being able to explain how you know them, where you see truth and can't be argued out of it by any evidence or logic, where you perceive reality directly and other people's inability to see what you see doesn't make you doubt what you're seeing, you're operating from level 3. Not perfectly. Not constantly. But you're there. And that's not achievement you earned. That's design being activated. You're built for direct truth perception. The monad made you that way. And now it's bringing that capacity online. Training you to see from source frequency. And when you operate from there, truth is obvious. Not because you're smarter. Because you're seeing from level where reality is transparent. One warning. When you operate from level 3 wisdom, when you see truth directly and speak what you see, people will call you crazy, arrogant, delusional, overconfident. They'll demand you prove what you know. Show your evidence. Explain your reasoning. And you can't. Because you're not deducing from evidence. You're seeing from perception. And perception doesn't have proof pathway. It just sees. Don't let their inability to perceive what you perceive make you doubt what you see. You're not wrong. You're not deluded. You're not overconfident. You're operating from wisdom level they haven't reached. And until they reach it, your certainty will seem like arrogance to them. Your knowing will seem like unfounded claims. Your direct perception will seem like irrational assertion. That's not your problem. That's their limitation. Keep seeing what you see. Trust what you perceive. You're not operating from ego making up certainties. You're operating from pneumatic awareness, seeing truth directly. And what you see is real. This is the 3-level wisdom system Jesus taught that the church never explained. Level 1. Surface wisdom. Seeing appearances, believing what you're told, accepting consensus reality as truth, operating from material perception only. Level 2. Pattern wisdom. Seeing connections beneath surface, recognizing manipulation and hidden agendas, detecting what's being concealed behind official explanations. Level 3. Truth wisdom. Seeing reality directly without interpretation filter, perceiving what is regardless of what appears to be, operating from source consciousness where truth is transparent. Most people stay at level 1 their entire lives. Some reach level 2 and think they've arrived at full truth. Only pneumatics reach level 3. And the monad trains you through progressive disillusionment, destroying every framework you use to understand reality until you stop interpreting and start perceiving directly. And once you're operating from level 3 even partially, you can't be deceived anymore. Can't be manipulated through false information or propaganda or authority that contradicts what you see. Because you're not analyzing truth. You're seeing truth. And truth doesn't require proof or justification. It just is. And you perceive it. If you're being trained to see truth directly, if the monad is moving you through these wisdom levels right now, if you recognize yourself in level 2 or 3, do 3 things. First, comment "I see truth" below. Declare publicly that you're operating from direct perception. Mark this moment of recognition. Second, subscribe to Divine Codes for advanced teachings on perceiving from level 3 wisdom and operating as pneumatic who sees reality without interpretation filter. Third, like this video so other chosen ones discover the 3 wisdom levels and recognize which level they're operating from. Do all 3 right now. Then trust what you see. Even when you can't explain it to others. Even when they demand proof you can't provide. Even when your certainty seems like arrogance to people who don't perceive what you perceive. You're not wrong. You're not deluded. You're not making unfounded claims. You're operating from wisdom level most people never reach. The monad trained you to see truth directly. You're perceiving from source frequency. And what you see is real. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise.